Hey, time for a week in review. What do you think, Daisy? Hello again. Week in review time. Very slow week as far as buying anything. I picked up a few things. They're en route here, so I'll probably have them for next week to show. I did get a book from my cross-off list. My buddy Mike picked it up for me, and he was cleaning and pressing it. So I haven't seen it yet, so it'll be on the cross-off list. So that'll be fun. I should have that next week too. But today I just thought I would talk about a few things that I've been thinking about, and I've been kind of filming the journey here of me changing how I'm going to collect going forward and what I'm going to collect, and try to reduce what I don't look at and enjoy every day and get stuff that I really do. And got me thinking about people and resolutions. This is the time of the year I think most people, any resolutions they had kind of fall to the wayside. If you look on Craigslist, I'm sure there's 100 different types of exercise equipment on for sale right now, because people didn't really stick to it. And I noticed on the highway it's already thinning. On my way to where I go to work, there's a community college, and every January it's slammed that first few weeks, and then by February, probably mid-February, it's empty because people just decide that it wasn't for them and they drop out. But so I'm happy to say that I'm not backsliding on my resolution of not buying so much, especially not on eBay, and not buying stuff that is just kind of an impulse buy. So I'm happy about that. There are, I've been doing a lot of organizing, and I'll show some. I took a couple little short video clips, and if it goes right. So there's what's left of the Browns books that are going to go. I got it condensed down to 5 boxes, and then that brown box is just some old beat up books I'm going to donate. But that's all I got left of the bronze that are not ones I'm going to hang on to, so those are next to go. And here are the short boxes that I have left, 9 of them. The one on the left is DC, the rest are Marvel. The one on the bottom right is my landfill collection, my books from 1974 up, probably through, I would guess, around 76, 77, when I started taking better care of my books, I think. But the rest of these are just going to be sold individually, or in sets, and then I'll be down to just what's in the file cabinet. Right, they'll be right here. Okay, I'm back. Or not. Maybe I never left if those clips didn't turn out. But it also got me thinking. I was looking at some of this stuff, and it was a question that kept in my mind. I was like, what was I thinking? It was what I would call, what was I thinking by? I think everyone's done it. Going through those boxes, I see a lot of it where you look at it and it's cool. I think a lot of it is some of the reprints. To me, I don't like to buy a reprint unless it has a new original cover. But I think I bought a lot, especially horror, because I don't think I realized when I got back into things 2012-13 that there were so many reprints of the Silver Age books, even in the Silver Age, I think. So I guess got to get a little better educated before I go out there and buy. But there are a lot of what was I thinking buys in my stuff as I've gotten them together, and fortunately I've gotten rid of most of it. Something else that I got to thinking about, and I guess this is where we step into my sermon. I was watching Lords of the Long Box, and he had 10 plus people on, people who are, were at the start of the YouTube community for comics back 5, 6, even longer ago, and they were just talking about their opinions on things and what has changed and stuff like that. And something struck me that while they were talking is, I think the reason I don't enjoy haul videos so much is it doesn't seem like there's very much effort that goes into it. Most of the time it's just someone, people are going on eBay and they're clicking. It's no different than going on Amazon and buying vitamins or something. There's no real effort. I mean, yeah, you sit there and you look, and I've done it. Like I said, I used to have 200 things in my watch list, but it's really... I don't think it's as fun for the person watching to see that, oh look, I bought this on eBay this week. That's not that exciting. Even to a lesser degree, but you go to an LCS and you pick up a book. I mean, you drove 10 minutes to a place and you bought a book. It's not like it used to be where you had to go digging in attics and there was no internet, and you looked in the want ads, or you heard about a garage sale or an old barn that had comics, or somebody you went to an estate sale. That to me, I think, is what changed the haul videos. I wasn't around back then on YouTube to watch the older videos, but I think seeing someone saying, you know, I'm really going after, say, a hot book like a Hulk 181, and they found it in a garage or an attic or something like that where they had been looking for a year or better. Or they were saving up to get something at cons, so they knew they wanted, you know, a big X-Men book, and they started saving up, and they chronologically, you know, they showed it as they went along. I think that's what's missing today, and I think if we got back to that, I at least for me, I would enjoy those haul videos more. Some people just like seeing the books and seeing what others are into, and that's great. It's just not for me, mostly because I like older books better, but I have an appreciation for the art. It's just, it's, you know, I guess I have a better appreciation for the older stuff than the new stuff. And I think the guys that went out there and were actually digging in long boxes at cons, or going to attics, or, you know, driving 2-3 hours to other cities to go to comic shops that they weren't familiar with, I think was kind of cool. And I remember back in the late 80s, early 90s, there'd be these little VFW or, you know, church basement sales, and there'd be a lot of trading going on. There would always be tables set up that there was no dealers, and guys would just come and they would take their boxes, sit down, and it was like you were a kid again, and you would trade books back and forth. And I don't really see that at cons anymore. I don't know if it's frowned upon or what. I mean, you wouldn't want to do it inside on the floor, but it seems like that could happen in the lobby. But I guess people are just a lot more nervous and jumpy these days. But that's that, I guess. So I don't really have anything to show, but one thing I did that I have been looking a lot this week, and I really love it. It's called The Vault, and for you EC fans out there, no, it's not Vault of Horror, it's the Marvel Vault, and it's this gigantic book. I love it. It is spiral bound, so you can clearly see everything, and it's kind of like a book museum, is what I would call it. Because it has what you normally would expect in, it's just got some great pictures, so look at that Marvel. But it has pictures and everything that you would expect, an introduction and stuff like that. It's got some pretty cool candid photos of the guys the way they used to do things. And then as you go through it, it goes through by decades, so it starts with the 1940s. But it really does feel like, as you're looking at this, a museum. There's that picture I think I've seen in every Marvel documentary I've ever seen. And that's the publisher, the owner there. He gets a lot of Goodman he gets a lot of hate, I guess, for what happened with Kirby. I don't know the full story, and you really only know what to read. And that's Marvel Comics 1, which at one time was probably one of the most expensive comic books out there. And it just kind of got left by the wayside. But the thing that always catches my eye is you have things like this. This is an original sketch by Bill Everett, and it's got notes on there. And there's a whole stack of them in here. So it's in a little folder, and you can take these out. And they're done in such a way that they look like, if you looked at them quick, you would think they were real sketches. And I wondered if anyone, when this thing came out, if they tried to pawn these off as real. But it's just really cool. And it goes through the 50s, and then of course it jumps into the 60s. There's a kind of a cool little picture of Stan Lee when Timely kind of was saved when they started doing the sci-fi monster books. That's him. He's working on a comic strip there. I love this book because it has stuff in it that, like the Christmas cards that they used to send out. So it has an actual one of those in here. I don't know if it's still available or not. If it is, jump on Amazon or look on eBay and get one. Then you got the MMS Wants You. It's pretty cool. I think Sleepy Reader really remembers that and would hope it would come back, as do I. I think that would be a cool thing to have come back. Just gave you that sense of community. And what's funny is I went through, and I think I've showed this before, I got that book. It's from the 1974 Comic-Con. That's a drawing by Joe Simon. And it has all kinds of little things like that. And of course has a whole page of my beloved Marvel Value stamps. Talks about that a little bit. But if you can find this, go out and get it. And of course it has the newer stuff. And this book was probably published before. There's that horrible Fantastic Four movie. And well, anyway, I guess they were hopeful that it was going to be good. It's a nice picture of Stan Lee. That's the way I always remember Stan Lee. Not the feeble, boiled chicken, stewed chicken body guy that he is now, but that I remember with those kind of rose-tinted glasses. You know, a little bit. Looking at those glasses, that reminds me of Dr. Von Schilla. He wears glasses like that, doesn't he? But, yeah, so that's that book. Pretty dang cool. So it is like going to a museum in a book, but I've looked at that probably 20 times, and I still see stuff I hadn't seen before, so pretty cool. I guess the other thing is I've been watching a ton of YouTube. You guys are really producing some great videos, some fun videos. Alan, after comics, he's been off this week doing projects around the house, I guess, but he's cranked out videos. I think he's cranked out close to a dozen videos this week. One of them's 10 seconds long, which is pretty funny. You gotta watch it real quick. I had to watch it twice, but it's fun. There's Silver Age Dave. He's been really cranking out the videos too. So he's kind of going through a similar process that I am right now. He has so much, and he's definitely the completist, and he likes. He's never seen a comic he didn't like. So that's I've been there. I know how that goes with all those long boxes, and one day you wake up in long box hell, I guess, and that's when you've had enough, and you start changing. I think when you start getting more than 5 of a certain book, that maybe it's time to think about thinning the herd, but maybe not. Maybe some people love to do that. I know Dr. Von Schilla at one point had, I think, 20 copies of Thor 207, so and he's back in the hunt, so he might be buying again. But anyway, X-Files, I watched it this week. That needle's starting to point down again. It was one of those goofy episodes, and I guess they're okay and they're fun, but the one part of it that I liked, and I don't know if it was intentional, I imagine it was, that Chris Carter wrote this. At the end of the episode, Mulder and Scully are sitting down, and there's this Jello-like treat that she used to have as a kid, and she remembered very fondly things about it, and she used Mulder's Bigfoot impression to use as a mold because she couldn't find a mold. She scoops a spoonful and she's about to taste it, and then she sets it down and said, "No, I want to remember it the way it was." And as soon as she said that, I'm thinking, that's how I feel about this show. I wish these last 2 seasons hadn't happened. It's fun to see them, but it's kind of like a family reunion, I think, where you get that, where you see someone, you hadn't seen in 20 years, a cousin or an aunt or something, and then after, I don't know, a minute or so, you kind of catch up quick, and then you just kind of sit there as, you don't know that person so well anymore, and that's how I kind of feel about that show. So there's 2 episodes left. I think it probably will be the last 2. It looks like they're going to be pretty intense. I think they're going to bring the son back that's been, missing with foster parents or whatever, and hopefully they tie the whole thing up in a nice, neat bow. But we'll see, and I'll still watch it either way, I guess. But that's all I have for you today. I may be going to a couple places this weekend. We'll see. I'm trying to set something up to get some of the bigger books that I want to get, Silver Age books. We'll see if I can make those arrangements, and we'll go from there. In any case, keep reading, keep making videos, and keep collecting.